Alright, today we're going to talk again about place value and exponents again. So just to review, an exponent refers to the number of times a number is multiplied by itself. It is written as a small number to the right and above the base number. So you can see over here, the base right here is 10, and the exponent shown right here is 2. So what this means is you're going to multiply 10 two times, 10 times 10. So here's some examples. We have 10 to the first power is just 10, or 10 times 1. You would move one place value, greater in the case of multiplication. Of course, less in the case of divisions. 10 squared is simply 10 times 10, two tens, two tens. And the answer, of course, is 100. Notice it has 1, 2 zeros. You would move two place values, depending on your operation. And finally, another example would be 10 to the third power, which is 10 times 10 times 10, which equals 1,000. Notice there's 1, 2, 3 zeros. It has a 3 to the third power there, or 10 to the third power, but I mean, it's the 3, also called cube, by the way. This is called squared. We'll worry about that later. But just like there's a 3 and 10 times 10 times 10, there's 3 tens, there's 3 zeros, it will move 3 place values depending on the operation. This continues on and on and on, 10 to the fourth, 10 to the fifth, with the same pattern existing. So now we can look up at the place value chart over here, and we can see when we multiply by one of our powers of 10, we are going to increase the number, and it will go to the left on the place value chart, and it will go to the right with division and decrease. It'll be the opposite if you are doing the trick of just moving a decimal. Remember, if this was something like this, if we just think about our 10, or maybe 10 to the first power, which is just 10, this is saying up here that this 4 would increase one place value. So we might be working on a trick where we just move the decimal the opposite way. And we will work on that idea. But right now I want to look at a place value chart, and I also want to use this opportunity to read a number. So we're going to do a couple things. We have our exponents to talk about, our place value chart. You could see how it starts off at 1,000th here. It goes all the way to a million. Of course, these go in both directions, infinite. If it went this way, it would be 1/10,000th would be next, right? You would just simply continue to add on zeros to make it smaller and smaller and smaller because the number's in the denominator. This way, of course, you have 10 millions would be next, 10 millions, and here, and then 100 millions, and it goes into infinity. Okay, so I just want to start, and I'm going to write down a number, and I would like you to try to read it. Alright, and I'm going to use every place value here. Okay, big old number, lots of digits here. We have a little help with a decimal here. What we want to recognize is our different periods. We have our ones period here, and then we have our thousands period, and it's right about here. So you want to recognize that this is actually called the thousands because it's going to help us pronounce our numbers. And then the ones period, I don't want to draw over this, but would go right to here. Okay, and then of course you have your millions period, and we only have one of our decimal in the million. Oh, sorry, one of our place values in the millions, the 1 millions. Okay, so a review of place value, which is important, is everything goes ones, tens, hundreds, ones, tens, hundreds, and that continues on all the place values, ones, tens, hundreds. This is the 1,000s, the 10,000s, the 100,000s, the 1 millions, the 10 millions, the 100 millions. The name of the above period changes, but the place values always goes 1, 10, 100. And that's where we put our commas. So ones, tens, hundreds, and of course a comma would go here. Ones, 10, 100,000s, and a comma would go here. And now it should be very easy to read. So when we read a number, the only thing you're going to be thinking about is looking at its place values first. So when I see this 8, it's an 8. So it's going to be called 8, right? This number right here below it is 124. So we are going to say 124, and then we'll name the period thousands. And the last number here, well, there's a 0, and then there's 92. So it's just 92. So the way we're going to read this number is simply 8 million. Then we have our 124 thousands. You don't say thousands, you say thousand. So 8,124,000, and then 92. And if you have the decimal here, so we'll do it again. 8,124,092, and then we might say and guess what? It's just another number, 312. You're looking for those three numbers, 312, and finish it with what place facing? Thousands, 312 thousands. Again, 8,124,092 and 312 thousands. Okay, so practice. Here, let me give you one more to practice. You try this one on your own. And then we will come back to this chart and we will try some operations with it. In our next lesson, we'll use it to pick up right from here. Okay, so again, go ahead and try to read it over yourself. Go pause the video and read this number yourself. You could see where the periods end, is where commas go. There's already a decimal here, so we don't have to do that one. So if you've come back from the pause, you should be reading this as 2,468,524 and 00, so only 9 there. So don't say 0.009, say and 9 thousandths. 2,468,524 and 9 thousandths. Alright, so that's all we're going to do today. We'll pick up with this and we'll do some of the operations with these exponents.